Peace and riches blessings. I am Michael B. Beckwith, the host of Take Back Your Mind. Riches blessings to all of you, and thank you for tuning in to the life question of the week emanating from the Take Back Your Mind podcast. I am Michael B. Beckwith. I am the founder of the Agape International Spiritual Center, and I get the privilege of seeking to answer the questions that you email me on a weekly basis. And so today, the question is from Rachel. And Rachel says, my question is regarding delay versus denial. When can we call a delay a denial? I've had a prayer that's been unfulfilled for 20 years. To the best of my ability, I've believed in my prayer. Sometimes I've even forgotten it. Still, this perceived delay has created a serious disappointment in my faith that I no longer want to experience. At this point, I'm okay if the prayer is not fulfilled. But I don't know if it's unfulfilled because of something I'm doing or not doing. So how can I know for a fact whether this is a delayed or a denied request? When should I chalk this up as something God does not want me to have? This is a great question. Delay, denial. Which one is it? I've always had the statement, every delay is not a denial. Oftentimes, when we are praying and it appears that things are being delayed, a couple of things are going on. One, we are being recalibrated, retuned from the inside out to be able to receive that which we are holding in prayer for. So that the individual that is praying will not be the same individual that demonstrates the prayer. Prayer doesn't change God's mind. Prayer changes us so that we become more of an instrument for answered prayer. Now, sometimes that prayer looks different than what we think we want. Sometimes the prayer is being answered in ways that are unfamiliar or unrecognizable by us. Dr. Howard Washington Thurman has a writing called something along the lines of The Blessings of Unanswered Prayer, where he talks about that when a prayer hasn't been answered for a long time, if we examine ourselves, we begin to understand, the patience of unanswered prayer is what it's called, the patience of unanswered prayer. He talks about the fact that when we examine ourselves, we start to notice, what it has meant to us to live in the feeling of unanswered prayer. How it has changed us, how it has shifted our perspective, how we have grown. And then we discover that if we ask the right question, this is me combined with Thurman, the question is something along the lines of, if this prayer is not answered, what is it within me that I have to cultivate to have a deep sense of peace about it? When that shift happens and we start thinking about the cultivation of a quality because of the seemingly unanswered prayer, there is a release that takes place. And then we begin to see that the universal presence through the universe is always for us. And then we notice the transformation that has happened in our life. And then there's the releasing of tension. And then the prayer is answered. But the prayer has been being answered, but perhaps we weren't quite the instrument for the receptivity of the prayer. So I don't want you to lose faith. I want you to expand your awareness, because sometimes the prayer is so specific, it's blocking out all the ways that the presence of God is seeking to express itself by means of you via that particular prayer that you may be holding a very narrow frequency around it. you see. I think about prayers I had in my 20s, about my life, early 20s. And I'm so glad they weren't answered. But they were answered. As I have become more myself, all that I was hoping for in my late teens and my early 20s has happened and more. But I didn't know this. That little perception that I had at 19 didn't know the life that I'm living now. So that prayer was answered, but bigger than what I was holding. So my little self could say, well, that prayer wasn't answered. Oh, yes, it was. Because I have become more me, and the health and the prosperity and the friendships and the travel around the world and the ways I get to serve is all happening. But not the little way that I thought it should happen. That's called the patience of unanswered prayer. What quality do I have to put my attention on? This is how you ask the question. If this prayer was not answered, what quality would I have to birth in myself to have peace of mind? And when the attention shifts more to the quality than to the thing you want, tension is dissolved, and it becomes an influx because you're no longer blocking it. I hope this answers your question, because there's really never a denial unless the prayer is too small and too narrow. In the spirit of the living one, infinite, eternal. And this infinite and eternal wants to express itself and know itself as you. Will you let it? Will you let it? Will you let it? I feel a yes coming on. Thank you so much, Rachel, for asking the question. I hope it has begun to answer everyone else that's listening in, at least planting a seed that leads to inner discovery. Peace and blessings. Hey, thank you for joining me today. If you'd like to ask a question, please email me at podcast@michaelbeckwith.com. And you know what? Your question just might be featured. Have a beautiful and bright day.